There we go. Sorry about that. Slight technical issue. Should be fixed now. That's, for whatever reason, the microphone wasn't turned on in OBS for some reason. No idea why it would do that. Looks like the filters are weird now too. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. I don't know why it's, am I in the right scene? Yeah, I'm in the right scene. Got all the right sources. Filters. No, they're on. Okay. All right, we should be good. I'm gonna go ahead and test the audio since nobody's here yet. Don't know why it sometimes does this. Just really annoying, but what are you gonna do? Anywho, we'll go ahead and turn Bluetooth on and then there it goes. We have a consultation from someone today. Just go ahead and test the audio one more time here. Sometimes the mic just does this. Here we go. Oh God. Yeah, filters are all fucked up. That's annoying. Hang on, let me see if I can fix that real quick. That is really frustrating, actually. There we go. Okay. There we go. We got it. I think we got it fixed. There we go. Filters. Got the. Yeah, it was picking up. For whatever reason, the microphone decided to switch on us, and it was picking up from the webcam instead of from the Rode mic. I don't know why it does that sometimes. OBS is weird like that. Anyway, my apologies for the slight 3-minute technical glitch there. So we've got a great consultation for y'all today. It's about cutting. So this person, I've known this person for a while, and this person wants to get a start on mostly diet, but also getting a workout plan together. So we're gonna start, this is gonna be sort of a back to basics video, but it's going to have a few caveats that might apply to some of y'all's circumstances who watch this. The first is that the preference is to start without going to a gym. So that's gonna make it a bit trickier, but we can work with it. The other one is going to be the reason why. So after getting a little bit more information, this person wants to start a family and is worried that her current weight may make it more difficult to do that. So what we're gonna do is analyze, hey, where do you wanna start and where do you wanna get to, and we'll go from there. So this person's starting at a weight and wants to drop a fairly substantial amount of weight, but it realizes that, it didn't take a month to get to that weight, and it's not gonna take a month just to get down from it. So we talked about a time span. She said 2 years. I think that's very reasonable given the amount this person wants to lose. So she's got a very good time sense of it. The first thing I want to talk about before getting into any of the actual nitpicky details is, and to the person who asked for this consultation, I don't believe this will be a problem for you, but this is more for anyone else who watches this video. If you've gotten to that point where you need to lose a substantial amount of weight, and I'm not going to tell you what that number is. It depends on person to person, but the first thing you need to do is own it, okay? You need to go to a mirror and you need to say, I am responsible for the way I look now, and I will be responsible for the way I look in 1 year, and I will be responsible for the way I look in 2 years, okay? You have to own it. It's not easy to say that. Sometimes you're gonna wanna beat yourself up. There's no point in doing that. The past is the past. You are what you are, but you have to acknowledge that you are responsible for that. Let me go ahead and just check one more thing on audio. See here, just make sure I'm sounding better now. Damn it. There we go. It's better to make sure. I want to make sure the audio quality is good on this. Yeah, all right, audio quality solid. So, okay, First thing I want to talk about before, again, we get into any of the numbers is tracking, okay? This is one, especially for people, and we had this on the previous weight loss consultation, where your brain is very good at playing tricks on you. Your brain will tell you to take the easy way out, and your brain will tell you to make mistakes. Sometimes your brain's going to work against you. The best way to do that is to counter it with hard numbers. So that can either be, measurements with, a measuring tape, or it can be scale readings. And then it can be, you can also do it qualitatively, like taking pictures in the same lighting at the same time of day, once a week, and tracking that over the course of several months. And it allows you to filter a lot of those negative spiral thoughts out. Very important to do, especially if you find that the mental battle is harder than the physical battle. The next one I want to talk about on that is when it comes to tracking, that's what I'm also talking about. You got to have the numbers. I'm a huge fan of putting pencil to paper, right, and writing down the amount of calories and the amount of protein I eat every single day. Anything that goes into my mouth, I record it. Or even if I don't know the exact number, I come up with an educated guess or an estimate based on, it's nutritionix.com is one I like to use, and then the nutrition facts. So I do tend to measure things, especially like if I'm meal prepping, I'll calculate the calories of the entire pot, if I'm making, a stew, or a chili, or a curry, or whatever, right, or a soup. Calculate the entire number of calories in that pot and then divide it. So it's a good little starting technique, but you need to track it. I promise you, tracking it makes such a huge difference. Pencil and paper is the most effective. Your phone can also work. The reason I say pencil and paper is better than a phone is because all too often, and especially in the gym, if you're not careful, if you're trying to track something on your macros, your phone will give you a notification and then you get distracted doing something else. I found that I suffer from that, which is why I go old school. Pencil and paper for me. If you find that a phone works better for you, more power to you. But in some way, you're going to need to find a way to track your calories, because that is the next part of this. The laws of thermodynamics state calorie deficit. Okay? The number of calories you consume must, to lose weight, be lower than the number of calories you burn. It's very, very simple. Okay? It's as simple as that. Now, how much is that going to be? Well, it depends on person to person. So for you, I used a basic Harris-Benedict formula basal metabolic rate calculator to figure out, okay, if you were a fasted vegetable and you did nothing but lay in your bed and not eat anything all day, how many calories would you burn? The answer is about 2,000. So what I'm going to recommend is set a calorie target initially at about 1,900 for you. You will be running at a calorie deficit and you will be hungry. Learn to accept it now, but that sign of hunger is a good sign that your body is burning body fat, which is good. That's what you want. So not an extreme one though. 1,900 is more than enough to survive on. If your basal metabolic rate's at about 2,000, you will run a deficit. That means even with moderate, even sedentary, you're going to be burning probably 2,400 calories a day. And with even a moderate amount of activity, you're probably closer to 3,000. What that would tell me is that we need to talk a little bit more about the individual diets. So we're going to talk about macros. That's your macronutrients. So your macronutrients are the big four. So your macronutrients are protein, carbohydrates, fats, and alcohol, okay? Those are the big four. Carbohydrates, 4 calories per gram. Protein, 4 calories per gram. Fat, 9 calories per gram. Alcohol, 7 calories per gram, okay? So what that means is you will have to be careful when having high fat or high alcohol items. For instance, a shot of whiskey is very high in calories, believe it or not, even though it just looks like a small amount of liquid. a shot of whiskey can often have more calories than even a beer. So I would, if you drink, and there's no problem if you do, but consider how much you are drinking and adjust accordingly. A glass of wine, and measure it, really. That's the simple bit of it. Or if you're not going to measure it, set yourself a budget per week of how many drinks you're going to allot yourself and say, that's how much I can have. I can have it all in one night, or I can spread it out. Either way works. Really depends on whether or not you're the kind of person who wants to go longer, or wants to go more spread out with it. That's personal preference. But for you, I'm going to set 1,900 calories and no less, okay, this is an absolute minimum. You've got to be hitting this. It should be very easy. Of 80 grams of protein a day, okay? So 80 grams of protein, frankly, is very low. I don't normally recommend this, but right now you're looking for fat loss. You're not really looking for muscle gain. And you're saying you'd rather stick to stuff outside of the gym. So we're looking to get you skinnier. Muscle gain would be nice, but it's not really as big a priority. So your protein content doesn't have to be less. Now, if you want to eat more protein, go for it. In fact, I'd recommend you do. I'm saying you shouldn't have to, but protein does tend to satisfy the appetite more than carbohydrates do, especially, and about the same as fat does. So I would say 80 grams of protein, right? So that's a very small amount of your calories ultimately is coming from protein. But 1,900 calories is not a lot. You are going to be hungry and you are not going to enjoy that for a while. However, if you stick to it, you will see results, okay? What I'm going to say further, and we'll get into exercise. I'm going to do the diet section first and then the exercise section. So for diet here, what I'm going to tell you is 6 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So what does that mean? So 6 weeks is on your cut. You're going to do a 6-week cut cycle and then 2 weeks for maintenance. Now, maintenance doesn't mean go hog wild and eat every fucking thing on the planet. That's not smart. You already knew that, though. All right? Maintenance, all you're going to do is increase the amount of calories you're eating by 500. So you're going to go to 2,400 for 2 weeks. Then you go back to, after that, because by that point you should have lost weight, okay? The next one is going to be down to 1,800, okay? For 6 weeks. And then 2 weeks off at 2,300, okay? You do the same thing, 1,700, 2,200, and so on and so forth. Now, why would I tell you to lower the calories every cycle here? Well, the reason for that is very simple, and you don't have to make it 2 weeks. If you can get away with one, you'll probably lose weight a little bit faster. I personally like a 2-week maintenance. It allows the metabolism to reset to the body's new weight because the body likes to be in stasis. Doesn't really like to lose weight, so you have to let the metabolism adjust. Where I would go with that, so every 8 weeks, basically, you go through 6 weeks of cut and then 2 weeks on maintenance. If you wanted to, you could do, 4 weeks of cut, 1 week of maintenance, 4 weeks of cut, 1 week of maintenance. Really up to you. What I found is 6 weeks tends to be that time frame by I'm in week 5 or week 6. I'm really getting tired of the cut, starting to feel very low energy, get a little bit more irritable, a little bit more crabby, maybe not sleeping quite as well. And that's what tells me, it's time for a maintenance break. So I would say 6 and 2 works best for me. You can adjust it, but I would say every 6 out of every 8 weeks, you should be on that cut diet. So if you're doing that, that gives you an idea of what calories you need to be aiming for. So those are your macros. Notice, I didn't talk about how much fat and how much carbs you should have. Here's why. Ultimately, when it comes to weight loss, it does not matter the composition of what you eat. There's actually someone who did something called the Twinkie diet. So ate nothing but Twinkies and still lost weight because he ate few enough of them to be in a calorie deficit, right? The same principle applies here. We're caring just about weight loss, well, then we just care about calories. The reason I'm saying 80 grams of protein is because protein is somewhat satiating, but more importantly because it will help you maintain the muscle you have. And we will get to the workout section because I do think you could stand to gain some muscle as well. Increased muscle mass is good for a variety of reasons, the biggest of which is that it increases your BMR. It increases the base number of calories that you will burn by default. So I'm a strong fan of that. So, okay, that kind of tells you all the basics of how to diet. Now we're going to get into the question of what to diet. So as far as carbs or fat are concerned, you can track them if you'd like. You don't have to. And this is why I'm not a huge fan of low-fat diets, keto diets, low-carb diets. They can work, but it's about the thermodynamic principle underlying. It's about controlling your calories, controlling your portion sizes, and not overeating. With fat, and some people respond better to different diets. So you may respond better to a low-fat diet. You may respond better to a vegan diet. You may respond better to fasting. All of them can work. It's about what number of calories you're putting into your body. It's calories in, calories out. I know that's the least sexy answer to hear, but it's because it works. It's a law of thermodynamics. Now, as for what you want to eat, what you want to eat doesn't matter that much as long as it fits your macros and it's reasonably healthy. In other words, it's not a bunch of processed crap. You can have a little bit, but that really should be the great minority of what you are eating. So how do I get satiated on 1900 calories? The answer is you're probably not going to. You're going to be somewhat hungry, period. But at 1900 calories, you still have plenty of room to play with. So lean meat, obviously, things like chicken breast, things like ground turkey, lean ground beef. Pork chops are fine as long as, you're not deep frying them. Generally speaking, if something is breaded and fried, don't go for it. If something is cooked in lots of oil, that's another one. If you're cooking, watch how much oil you are using, watch how much butter you are using. It's pure fat. Oil and butter aren't necessarily terrible for you, but you have to control and measure the amounts you use. Okay? So what foods to eat? I'm a huge fan of what are called low density foods. So what's a low density food? Well, the best example of a low density food is by giving you an example of a high density food. The ultimate high density food in my mind is peanut butter. Peanut butter is absolutely fucking fantastic for you if you are bulking because one little spoonful of it is almost 200 calories. Mayonnaise is another really good one for easy bulking. Whole milk because you can drink it. Chocolate bars, obviously, chocolate's not good for you, but right, those are all very high density foods. It's a small package with lots of calories in it. You want to do the opposite of that. So you want large packages with low calories in it. This all seems somewhat obvious, I'm sure, but what you're going to be looking for are obviously lots of greens. You can cook them, you can eat them raw. I will say if you eat them raw, there's going to be more water in them, and therefore you are going to feel more full. It's got more volume. So salads are fantastic for a reason. There's a reason people swear by salads. Key is you just got to make sure to watch your hidden calories. Things like dressings can be made of 90% oil or 90% mayonnaise or other sorts of high fat ingredients. Same with cheeses. Cheese is great in moderation. So really the key is to watch your calories. Now with other low density foods, obviously you can't just eat greens and lean meat. You're going to want to have some sort of carbohydrates, mostly because it's going to keep your food budget lower. This is where the magic of high fiber items comes in. Beans and oats are really good for this, as opposed to white rice and pasta, which you can eat a ton of and never feel satiated, right? Beans in particular, if you know how to cook them right, you can make soups and stews out of beans. One of my favorite meals to go with is a Costco, or if you don't have a Costco in your area, Sam's Club, get a rotisserie chicken. You eat the rotisserie chicken for a day or two, and then whatever leftovers you have, you peel them off the bones, you boil the stock in a carcass, you boil the bones and the rest of it to make a stock, and then you boil some dried beans in that carcass. I have a 25-pound sack of pinto beans right off screen, and the reason I have that is because this is the most expensive state in the country for food by a long, long margin. So I have to be very careful with my food budget, but I can still eat well. Beans and rice, or beans and lentils, Very, very good for that sort of thing. And you don't have to make them flavorless. I mean, there's a reason, there's a beans and rice dish in almost every culture on the planet. You've got arroz con gandules in Mexico, Central America, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean. You've got any number of incredible Indian curries and, dals. You've got plenty of Chinese dishes that are based around rice and beans. You've got loads of South American dishes, Mexican dishes, Cajun dishes, Tex-Mex dishes. There's loads and loads of options. You just have to play around. If you want individual recipes, my Discord server has something called Holy Grail meals. Holy Grail meals are meals that, fucking Harley going by, they're meals where you get all 5 traits of a perfect meal. Tastes good, healthy, convenient, inexpensive, and sustainable. If you can get all 5 of those, you're having a really good meal. It's not easy, but you can do it. So I have some recipes in there if you'd like a starting path. Best still, if any of y'all want to contribute to that list, that thread, it's open. So huge fan of those. So general, my advice to you is low density foods and then low density drinks, okay? First off, if you're still drinking soda, cut that shit now. Yes, I mean more, even before you even touch alcohol. Soda is, I would argue soda is worse for you than alcohol is. Soda does to your pancreas what alcohol does to your liver. I would say both are not good for you. And if you're really trying to lose weight quickly, ditch them both. But soda is, I could argue, more addictive and also much more socially tolerated, right? You can have a Coke at work. You cannot have a beer at work, even though the beer honestly is better for you than the Coke is. I'm telling you right now, it's shocking just how bad sodas are for you. The more and more research has come out that supports links to soft drinks, sugary soft drinks, to things like dementia and Alzheimer's at younger and younger ages. I cannot say, honestly, to me, soda is closer to tobacco in terms of how much it can harm your life. Obviously, there's a link to obesity, but soda also fucks with your taste buds in the same way that tobacco can fuck with your mood. Soda will make everything else seem less sweet than it really is because of how ultra sweetened soda is. Stay away from it. Kick soda to the curb. Best part is I know you live in a warm climate, so wait until summer and then just switch to water if you need to. Other items, if you want low density drinks, tea is fantastic. Obviously out here we grow tea, so I get a lot of local Hawaiian teas and teas from Asia, but obviously skip the sweetener, okay? Your sweet tea is just as, especially the way Southerners make it, sweet tea is just as bad for you as soda is. It's just not carbonated is the basic only difference. So if that's too much, start with half and half and work your way back, but have a set date to where you're cutting the sugar in your tea. I like hot teas a lot, especially in the colder months of the year. Right, in other parts of the country, not here. A hot tea is really nice to wind down at night, and you can find good decaf ones. I'm a huge fan of Japanese barley tea if you can't find that. A basic chamomile tea, you can find that in most grocery stores. I would say have a caffeinated tea and a decaffeinated tea on standby for when you want something other than water. If you like coffee, hey, coffee's great too, but drink it black. Milk is okay as long as you're measuring how much you want in, because milk is somewhat calorie dense. Avoid cream and definitely avoid sugar. So I would recommend those as your options for drinks. Now, diet sodas and 0-calorie sodas. They do work. They are calorically insignificant, but they will still screw with your taste buds. So a little bit of a pro and con there. Is a diet soda, I would say a diet soda is akin to vaping if a regular soda is akin to smoking, to give you an idea. But that's roughly where I would go with the individual diet section. If you've got follow-up questions on that, let me know. So I'll go ahead and let you take a screenshot of this and make sure there wasn't anything else I needed to talk to you about regarding the diet, and then we're going to move into oh, another really good one. If you like pasta like I do, huge fan of spiralized zucchini. Don't cook it. That's the difference, okay? If you don't cook the spiralized zucchini and you eat it raw, is it as satisfying as pasta? Fuck no. But 40 calories of spiralized zucchini eats like 600 calories of pasta, if not more. Huge improvement. And it's worth it to occasionally do that. Now, I'm on maintenance, so sometimes I'll have pasta, but sometimes I'll still go with the spiralized zucchini. Huge fan of that. You can also go with, you know, salads can be a lot of fun. You can throw sweeter things in like beets, tomatoes, and carrots. You can go for a more vinegar tart flavor. You can throw in citrus, be that lemon or oranges or, you know, stuff like that. You can get very inventive with salad bowls. You can throw meat on it, fish, chicken, all sorts of things. Or you can just have it as a side with, you know, a main course of beans and rice or something like that. You know, one other huge fan of non-fat Greek yogurt. I live off that fucking stuff. The macros are fantastic. You can mix it with fruit. I'm a huge fan of that. You can mix it with applesauce. I mix it with Li Hing wheat powder, which you probably can't get. That's kind of just a Hawaii thing, but you can mix it with cinnamon. That's a great one. A little bit of non-sweetened applesauce, non-fat Greek yogurt, and cinnamon. Really good. So definitely recommend that. Zero, good to see you. And then if you want to go the protein powder route, I would say not really necessary that until you start going to the gym. But protein, I do something called Proats. It's in my it's short for protein oats, kind of an overnight oats muesli kind of dish. Very simple to make, and I love it. It's a staple of mine. I have it in my Discord in the Holy Grails meal. So here you go for the diet section. Own it. Track your shit. Run a calorie deficit. You should target 1,900 calories. And the reason I say 1,900 calories is because you'll probably burn a lot more than 2,400. But we humans, myself included, are prone to underestimating how much we eat. And if you're hitting close to 1,900 calories, you're going to be in a deficit. It's a conservative, it's got enough safety margin in it to where it's just going to work. So 6 weeks on, 2 weeks off with a 100 calorie drop each time, right? So 1,900 to 24, then to 18 to 23, 17 to 22, and so on. Number 6 is low density foods. You know what these are, generally speaking. Greens are a big one. What I just talked about, oats, non-fat Greek yogurt, all that kind of stuff. And then low density drinks. I'm a huge fan of tea. Black coffee works great too. You can go with diet soft drinks if that's really the only way to start. I'm still not a huge fan of them, but they are better than the original thing. So a Coke Zero, insofar as it can help you stop drinking Coke regular, okay, fine. So there you go. All right, now we're going to talk about the workout section because there's a lot more to go here. But your goal was to lose a substantial amount of weight within 2 years. I think if you do that and you're running that 500 calorie deficit, so a 500 calorie deficit will produce a 3,500 calorie deficit every single week, which is enough to lose about 1 pound of body fat consistently every single week. Now, realistically, if you're actually hitting 1,900 every single day, the weight will fall off way faster than that. But I'd rather give you something with some safety margin in case you make mistakes, because we all do. I do. It's just kind of how dieting goes. Like yesterday, I ate 4,200 calories. Did I mean to do that? Fuck no, but it happens. Of course, I'm not looking to cut that much. You are looking to cut a lot more, so you have to run a much stronger deficit. And of course, because I'm a lot larger and I have lots of muscle, I burn shit tons of calories. So like even today, it's 5 o'clock here. I'm already at 2650 for the day. So I'll be somewhere in the 3,000 range. Probably 3,500 today if I had to take a guess. Okay, so we're going to talk next about the diet section or the exercise section. So asked a little bit more about what kind of exercise is already doing, and then what kind of equipment She has, because I got told I have a preference to start at home with the dumbbells I have and body weight movements, and then when I need an actual squat rack, get back to the gym. I am willing to just go straight back to the gym though. I mostly do sports-based cardio, so very moderate exercise 2 to 5 times a week. My spare time is every day after work and most weekends. I don't have any set activities after work that isn't pickleball related. You're a pickleball player. That is a fun sport. I'm mostly interested in a plan for starting out, from workouts to calories intake and what foods to try and focus on. I hope I got the diet and foods to try as a good start. And then I asked, what kind of dumbbells do you have to work with? Do you have any kettlebells? What would the gym membership cost you? When you say sports-based cardio, is that just pickleball? Says pickleball mostly, sometimes disc golf. Disc golf is a fantastic way to spend a few hours. Way better than regular golf because it requires way less space. I have a vendetta against golf because we live in the state with some of the highest real estate prices, well, in the world, frankly. And there's 50 golf courses on this one island alone. Little bit ridiculous. Ask, do you live in an area that's safe or easy to walk in? Sometimes just adding a walk or two does more than one might think. And do you live where you could bike to work? No on the biking to work. Lives in a rural part of the South. So I understand that. You know, when I lived in South Carolina, I also didn't bike to work because I couldn't. Good to see you, Eduardo. Welcome on in. All is good. Things are going pretty well here. I so far have not been fired by Elon Musk and Doge, so we'll see how that goes. But Eduardo Chavez, welcome on in. Good to see you. 2 Eduardos at once. All right, double Eduardo time. All right. Now we've got the question for the workouts. So what I'm going to go ahead and say is, while lifting in the gym is not necessary, it would help. I'm going to go ahead and give you the pass on the gym membership for now. I'm going to give you a basic exercise program you can do at the house, provided you have a few pieces of equipment and or are willing to get a few pieces of equipment. Use Craigslist or OfferUp if you don't have any of these things. You have a couple of good dumbbells and bench, or you have a couple of good dumbbells, that's a good start. No kettlebell, we don't need to go for a kettlebell. If you want to do kettlebell swings with a kettlebell, you can, but you can do it with a dumbbell. It's just slightly more awkward, but that shouldn't really hold you back. If you don't have a bench or some other flat surface, you can even use a chair with no arms. Preferably do not use a rolling chair, by the way, in case that wasn't obvious. But you are going to want a bench of some kind, so that way you can do things like a dumbbell bench press, since you've got, there we go. Since you've got 2 dumbbells, one of the things I'm going to have you do is a dumbbell bench press. So you're going to want something where you can, lay down on or do things like that. What I'm going to have you do is a basic body weight slash dumbbell exercise. So I'm going to give you the basic dumbbell workout first, okay? And then I'm going to give you some other alternatives that you can sprinkle in there. But first, I'm going to tell you one thing every single day that I'm going to want you to do. And that is body weight squats, okay? Since you're not going to be going to a squat rack, this is important. I want you to do full range of motion, okay? So that's probably even deeper than crease of the hips to the top of the kneecaps. So just a little bit below parallel, all right? Full range of motion, all the way down about here, and then up. I want you to get to be able to do 200 of those a day. Yeah, I said 200, and that's a lot. You're not going to probably start off successfully doing that. Start off with 20, right? I'm not saying do them all at once either. Sprinkle them throughout your day, right? If you need to get up, you're at work, you've been sitting for a little while, you need to kind of stretch, get up and do 5, get up and do 10, get up and do 15, right? Add it all up. By the end of the day, you're going to be close, right? Don't do too many before bed because it's going to screw with your sleep schedule, of course. But, the first thing you get up in the morning, knock out 5 or 10, get your heart rate going, okay? So 200 should be what you work up to. Start with, as many as you can stomach to do, and challenge yourself to add 1 every day until you get to 200. I guarantee you can do it. So that would be one I'm gonna have you start with. the reason I'm doing that is it's going to consistently boost or spike your heart rate throughout the day, and that's going to increase the number of calories you burn by default. That's going to be a little game changer for you. So huge fan of that. Other exercises I'm going to have you do is an actual workout. So this is going to be full body workout at home workout. So this is going to hit basically everything. It's not going to be complete, but it's going to be good enough to start with. And then once you feel ready for the gym, I would say once you've lost the first maybe 20, 25 pounds or so, and you're feeling a little bit more confident and you've set up a routine. So after the first several months, maybe after the first cut cycle, so first 8 weeks or so, or maybe even the first 2 cut cycles, 16 weeks, that's pretty reasonable. Maybe somewhere in that latter half of the second cut cycle, start looking at maybe going to the gym. We'll talk then, but let's start with you wanted not to go to the gym, so we'll make that happen. So full body at home workout. First thing I'm gonna have you do is you've got your dumbbells, and you may find that you're going to need different dumbbells at some point because it might get easier because you're gonna get stronger, right? So we're gonna do 3x10 for everything. We're keeping this as simple as possible right now. So it's gonna be sets of 3x10 for, almost everything. And it doesn't have to be in any specific order. You can pick the order that suits you, okay? First one, 3x10 bench press. You know what a bench press is. You lay down, you press the weight up with your chest, you bring it back, okay? Next one, shoulder press. You're sitting or standing, you can take your pick. You press the weight up, back down, okay? Those ones I don't think require a lot more explanation, okay? Then you're gonna have curls, okay? You take dumbbells. Now, curls, what's fun is there's loads and loads of variations. You can do a seated curl. You can do a standing curl. You can do a hammer curl. So a hammer curl, right, is different just by the way you have your grips. A hammer curl is gonna be palms parallel to your body. A regular curl is gonna be palms perpendicular to your body, okay? You can do an incline curl if you have access to some kind of inclined seat where the arms are behind you. You can go like this, right? You can do concentration curls if you've got the end of a bench. So you go one at a time. You put your knee out, you take your elbow, you put it on your knee, you go 1, 2, 3. You do that for each arm. So when if I ever say it's an individual exercise, like 3x10, it's 10 for each arm, not 10 for both, okay? So really, there's loads of different varieties of curls. You can try the reverse curl where the palms are facing backwards, where you come like this. That's gonna work your forearms a little bit. So 3x10 of curls can be, again, any kind, you vary it. Let's see here. So I'm gonna have you do, 3x10 triceps. With a dumbbell, you're a bit limited on what you can do for triceps, but there's really 3 good options. First one is you take a single dumbbell behind your head, you go like this. That's a triceps extension. Second one, you lay like you would on a bench. You take the dumbbells, and instead of pressing, right, you're just bending the elbow. This is a skull crusher, okay? Right? The skull crusher you do not do with a lot of weight, otherwise you hurt yourself, but you can do it. The third one, and I'm not as big a fan of this, is the kickback, where you've got one leg on the bench, you've got the dumbbell right here, and you go like this. I don't like that one as much, I will admit. Okay, so 3 sets of 10 on bench press, shoulder press, curls, and triceps. It's gonna hit most of your upper body. And rows, same thing. So rows, so that's gonna be, you can do a single arm row, which is like you were doing a triceps kickback. but instead of doing this, right, you got the dumbbell and you're pulling it up. You're using your upper back muscles to pull. That's a row, okay? Or you can do just basic bent over dumbbell rows, which is you're standing upright. You keep your abs tight through all this, otherwise you'll hurt your lower back. You bend over and you row. You use your upper back, squeeze your upper back to bring your arms up. So that's 3 by 10. That's everything for your upper body. Oh, and abs. So 3 by 10 sets of abs. You can pick whichever exercise you like here. The Russian twist is a very good one. If you want to work your obliques a little bit, that's you. You can take a dumbbell or just do it with your fists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got it. Sit-ups are fine. Crunches are fine. I'm a huge fan of 6 inches, which is where you're sitting flat, you bring your heels 6 inches off the ground and you hold it. That will make your abs burn, and it may be that you only go for 10 seconds the first time. That's fine. Do 3 sets of that for 10 seconds each. You're good, right? Planks are another one. If you do planks, maybe make it 20 seconds or 30 seconds because planks are pretty easy, but you get the idea. All right, so that's abs. What else is I gonna have you do? And then three sets of 10 lunges. I think you know what lunges are, but in case you don't, I guarantee you, you know what lunges are, but for any of the audience who doesn't, right? And then you do the other leg. That's 1. So 3 by 10 there. Hold dumbbells, and then PGS, that is paused goblet squats. So you're gonna take 1 dumbbell, okay? You're gonna hold it right out here in front of you, like just in front of your chest. You're gonna squat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3, 2. Easy. Okay? Maybe it'll take a little bit of time to get used to. You might not be able to do a full 10. If you can't, do 4, do 5, and then work up to 10. If you can't do it with a dumbbell, do it with no weight. Just hold it at the bottom. But if you're doing those 200 regular squats, you get there. And then the last one, this is three by 20 swings, okay? So what is a swing? Normally you do this with a kettlebell, but you can do it with the head of a dumbbell, okay? So you start like you're a center in football about to snap the ball, right? You bring the dumbbell back, and then you use your hips to swing it out in front of you. You're not using your upper arms very much here. It's really what you're working on here is the hip hinge motion. You're thrusting with your hips to bring the weight up. So 20 of those. Eduardo says, do you consume whey? Yes, I do. Whey protein is very convenient and it's shelf stable, which means out here where grocery prices are very high, it's a little bit more practical. So that should be everything. I'm gonna tell you not to worry about Turkish get-ups or full body press yet. We can come back to those. If this gets too easy and you want more, come ask me about those. But that'd be pretty good. So this is a total of, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27 sets. You're gonna be doing this 3 times a week, okay? 27 sets should take you a little under an hour to do. If, honestly, it'll probably take you less time than that, because like realistically, right, 10 seconds on 6 inches, that's pretty quick. So that's not gonna take too much of your time. So yeah, try to get this all done in under 1 hour. All right, so there's your good full body at home workouts. So now we're going to talk about alternatives. So what other things can you do to help burn more calories? Now, you already say you play some sports, so that's good. Things like pickleball, things like disc golf, that's really solid. Those are basically walking. I'm a huge fan of rucking. And no, rucking not like the military does, but something similar. You have a backpack, you put some kind of weight in it, and you go for a walk. It's that simple. It's a weighted walk, basically. Which, if you're trying to have a family and that's your end goal, you're gonna probably want to get used to having a baby and then a toddler and then a young child on your back or holding it anyway. So this is good training on multiple fronts. Okay? Rucking is an excellent choice. Okay? Huge fan of that. Let's see what else we have here. Pickleball and disc golf is good. Box jumps is another one, or even just jumping rope can also do that. A jump rope costs like $5 new and probably less if you go to a Goodwill and find one used. Jumping rope is super easy and super simple, and it's good for technique. Another good one is dancing. I am not much of a dancer, but I'm slowly beginning to learn. I'm trying to learn how to tango, and I'll probably learn a bunch of other dances too. But dancing does burn calories, so if you like to dance, give that a shot. Dancing's a very good one. Let's see here. There are a couple other ones. Just got to look at my notes. The other one too. All those body squats and all these workouts, you're never going to have a heating bill ever again after that. That's the good news. You will warm up your apartment or your house if you're doing this in there. You're never ever going to have to worry about, oh, it's cold in the morning. Turn on the heater. Fuck no. Save the money. You are the heater. One human who is moving actively can produce as much thermal energy, as a space heater can. In fact, in some cases, when you have muscle, quite a lot more. So you're not gonna have to worry about that. Rucking, jump rope, dancing, swimming, especially if you're in the summer, it's getting hot, you wanna cool off, but still get exercise. Swimming is fantastic exercise. And then finally, you poked the ball a little bit with this one. I'm gonna be honest. A quote from the email here. I live 30 minutes away from work in a car. Okay, I'm not going to judge that, but I am going to judge this. This is the only thing I'm going to judge you on. And my highway nearby is one of the most deadly roads. I have been on that road, and I can confirm it's poorly engineered. I also have a bike phobia. Cut that shit out right fucking now. I don't care where it came from. I don't care why you have it. But you are stronger mentally than that. I know you are. Everyone is, okay? I don't care what it takes. Learn to ride a bike. That's just a good life skill to have. If you ever want to visit Europe, it's a really good way to get around. If you ever want to get places without ever having to use a car, God forbid, let's say there's a gasoline shortage or an electrical outage, and you need to get somewhere to get something, even if it's just a run to, a mile away to the nearest convenience store or whatever, and your car's shot. You want a faster way of doing that than walking, especially if, walking multiple miles poses a challenge for you. Fucking learn how to ride a bike. I'm sorry, there is no compromise on this one. Conquer your phobia. You are strong enough to do it. I know you can. That's the only one. I'm sorry. You gotta learn how to ride a bike. Come on. You can do that. I know you well enough to know that you have conquered far greater challenges in your life, and you will continue to conquer far greater challenges in your life. But make that a goal for yourself. Learn how to ride a bike. Ask your friends if they don't know, if they know how to teach you. I will grant you live in an extremely cycling and pedestrian hostile area. The part of the country you live in is not great for that. But another one I'm going to recommend is, and you can pair this with rucking, is hiking. And there's an app called All Trails. You can go and look it up. There are some pretty good hiking spots and easy trails around where you're at. Even on, if you wanted to take a weekends, you're not that far from a really pretty mountain range that is probably the least well known in the country. I'm not going to dox where you live, but take a look at the northeast of the town you live in. The northeast, there's some really good mountain ranges up there. Tons of good hiking, and I would recommend that strongly. And especially in the fall. Say, I know you're a fan of football. I bet you could find a really good reason to go up to. There's a town in the state to the northeast of you, in the northwest of that state, that is known for having a pretty good atmosphere for college football. Maybe go visit there and do some hiking one weekend. You might enjoy that. And high school football, I will grant, is not as good in that state, but it's still passable if you want to catch a game on Friday night. So gonna go ahead and say, as for cycling, I will give you a bit of a pass based on where you live. But on the other hand, right, you chose to move 30 minutes away from work. You chose to live there, and that's all right. But it's 30 minutes in the car where you're going to have to be sedentary by default. So with cycling, I would say you should see that as a challenge to yourself to get into it. I really strongly do believe in a bike. And it's not like the cycling infrastructure here is great either. In fact, it's, considering how good the weather is, it's abysmal. But I still do it regardless. And that's part of why my legs look like this. I have hockey legs for that reason. So that's a pretty good overall start. I think that should be more than enough to get you started. I feel like I'm probably giving you might feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose watching this. You can always ask me follow-up questions, and anyone can ask me follow-up questions. But let me make sure there wasn't anything else I wanted to cover for this one. Oh, for the body squats, yes, 200 a day. Yeah, that sounds like a lot, but if you break it down into a per hour basis, it's less than 15 for your waking hours. And BS, don't tell me you can't do 15 squats in 1 hour. 15 body weight squats in 1 hour, that's easy. It's so easy, you shouldn't even think about it. But, if you can't do it the first day, okay, do as many as you can, and then try to add one every single day until you get to 200. Yes, that's going to be a challenge. That's the whole point. You're challenging yourself here. That's what I said at the beginning of this stream. Own it. I know you're capable of doing this. Let's see. One other good low-density food to snack on. I'm a huge fan of just carrots. I will eat carrots just like as a way to sit here, and pickles. Carrots and pickles are fantastic for that. There's also an article I will send you that may be useful to you. It's from one of my favorite bloggers of all time. It's a guy by the name of Mr. Money Mustache, called Staying in Shape with No Gym. It'll be useful, but it's largely going to say the same thing. Oh, one last thing. If you have the opportunity to take the stairs somewhere instead of an elevator or escalator, you fucking do it, because it's free calories burned. It may not sound like much, but I take the stairs to get up to my apartment and to my desk. My desk is at work is on the second floor. Because I do that, I burn an extra probably 30 to 40 calories a day. Just a handful of flights of stairs, so maybe 5 or 6 flights of stairs, is going to burn you at least 40 to 50 calories a day. That may not sound like much, but if you do that every single day, you're burning north of 5 pounds a year just from taking the stairs over the elevator or escalator. That's serious. That is a lot. I mean, that's a good chunk. 5 pounds is nothing to sneeze at. That's over 10,000 calories. That's a lot. So definitely recommend, if you see stairs, take stairs. I think you said you had a dog as well, so let that dog get in real good shape. Go running with it. Go walking with it. Play fetch with it. It's a dog. That's kind of the fun part. They will never run out of energy. or at least most dogs I know. Yeah, I'll say that. Our Great Dane did eventually get lazier in his later years, but for the most part, dogs are always up to go and do shit. They're very happy about that. That will always make them happy. Eduardo Chavez, Latinas can teach you to dance. They can. I found a little tango dance studio here in Honolulu, so I'm working there right now. I'm working at learning it there. I'm going to start practicing on my own more. I've been so busy. I need to set away some time and start working on it on my own, because just doing the once a week class for an hour, I'm not going to improve to the level I want to as quickly as I want to unless I put in the work and actually learn how to do it. But tango dancing's sweet, man. It's hard to learn, but once you learn it, you look amazing. Like it's a very good alpha move. Like knowing how to dance, but especially a good Latin dance, right? Can be salsa, bachata, tango, whatever. Oh, the ladies go nuts for that. So if you care about that, yeah, learning how to dance, 100% a skill worth pursuing. So there you go. I think that's everything. I think I already showed you everything else on my board here. I think you got this. Honestly, you've got a long way to go to get to where you want to be. But you also sent me a financial consultation. By the way, ladies and gents, we'll be doing that Saturday morning. I'm very excited to do that one because I think you're closer to your goals on the financial side than you are on the fitness side, but I think you can do both very, very handily. And I think you're going to absolutely amaze people with the progress you make. I'm very bullish, pun not intended, on y'all's progress. Like, I know the amount of shit you have been able to overcome and get through, and this will pose no real problem to you. If you commit, you do what I tell you to do here, you will see progress. You will see success. It's not going to be easy, but nothing worth having in life is going to come easy. You know that already. So that's going to be it for today. I have other consultations. I will say, if any of y'all want a consultation like this, so a personalized workout plan, diet plan, answers to any questions you might have, write to me at askbullmuscle@gmail.com. It's really nice to be able to help people with these consultations. It's the main reason I do it. The only reason I've ever charged anything or requested that you guys plug my channel is, one, so the channel can grow and get more consultations and help more people, but also because if I give it all away for free, y'all don't pay attention. Nobody listens to free advice. Nobody. Because there's no mental cost associated with ignoring it. So if I make you put in the effort, it's the reason I ask you to email me. Is it slightly more inconvenient than just DMing me on YouTube or on Instagram or on Twitch or on Discord? Yes, that's the point. It's supposed to be slightly inconvenient because it means you can't just disregard everything I say. It's not quite as easy because you've put a small amount of time and effort into making the request. It also means, generally speaking, that the emails I get for consultations are much better written than, how do I get in good shape? I'm 350 pounds and I want to be jacked by next week. How do I do that? Stupid shit like that, right? I don't really have a ton of time for those. And if you write to me with a stupid question like that, I will probably charge you more because I am a capitalist whore. We all have our price. Just a little joke there. But I really appreciate well thought out, honest, and self-reflecting consultations like this one and like the one I'm going to do with the same client on Saturday, because I think when people put in that kind of effort, they're going to be much more committed to getting the results they want. It's not so wishy-washy. So a lot of respect to you for coming to me and asking these, this was a hard thing to ask. I respect that a lot, and I won't judge you for anything apart from saying you're bike phobic. Fix that. Do it. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed. AskBullMuscle@gmail.com if you want your own consultation. Otherwise, I will see you Saturday morning, probably around 9 a.m. Hawaiian Standard Time. I believe daylight savings time is coming up, so I don't know. I think that moves all of y'all away from us 1 hour. We live in the based state of Hawaii where we decided, why would we do daylight savings time? So anyway, that is it for me for this one. If you really liked it, hit the like button. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button. Hit that notification bell if you want more. Check out my Discord if you want more. Otherwise, y'all, askbullmuscle@gmail.com if you want your own consultation. And as always, make good decisions, because those good decisions form your actions. Those actions form your habits. Those habits form your values. Those values form an ethos. Could be the guide star through the rough waters of life. Much love, y'all. Come in for the hug. All right, shoots. See y'all on Saturday. Oh, Eduardo Chavez, I said it earlier, but yes, I do consume whey.